Greetings to you all. I greet you all in the wonderful name of our Lord Jesus Christ. My name is Pastor Maggie Ferro. My teaching today is going to be from the book of Mark, chapter 5, from verse 21. This story, before I narrate or before I get deeper into it, I just have a question of you, child of God. I just have one question for you, that by the end of my teaching, or by the end of my preaching, you will be able to answer that question. Who do you consult, or who do you run to when you are faced with problem? You know, some of us right now, pride has taken the better of us. Pride has become our downfall. Why? Because when we are faced with challenges, instead of going to that man of God that we save, and because that man of God doesn't have money and I have money, we think that he is not able to help us. Because me, I own several companies. I am the CEO of major oil company. So I cannot go to a man of God who is living in one room to pray for me. That's why some of us, we have dug our own grave, and we don't know how to cover that grave before we fall into it. You know, the Jairus is a synagogue leader. He got so many servants that he can send to Jesus, but his daughter was sick on a deathbed. Instead of sitting down looking at him crying, or taking the daughter to expensive doctors, he didn't do that. He said, no, in as much as my money can buy anything, but this issue at hand, man cannot solve it. But this issue in my house, man cannot do anything about it. Instead of him carrying the daughter to go to Jesus and say, Jesus, here is my daughter, she's dying. But he didn't do that. He left the daughter in the house. We did not hear of him telling anyone to watch the child. He stood up, went to Jesus and told Jesus, Jesus, my daughter is sick. She is dying. Please come and pray for her. If it was me, I would ask, but why didn't you bring the child here to save time? Jairus understood and knew very well that the problem that I'm facing in my house is no longer about the child being sick. There is a lot that needs to be addressed in my house. If I take the child only to go to Jesus, she will be healed, yes, but the major problem in my house, it won't be sorted out. After he told Jesus about your problems, he kept quiet. He never nagged Jesus. Jesus, why? Jesus, when are we going? Jesus, can we rush? Jesus, can we use the shortcut? Jesus, can I carry you? Jesus, can we take Uber? No. He told Jesus his story and he kept quiet. He didn't nag. He didn't complain. Why? Because he knew that I have told the master, I have told the healer my problem. So if the child is going to die, it's not going to be my problem. He has to save that child for his glory's sake. He has to deal with this situation for his name's sake. Not for my glorification, not for my name's sake, but for his name's sake. On their way, the Bible narrates that on their way, there was a woman with the issue of blood. For 12 years, the woman was bleeding non-stop, 24/7. As a woman, I know how it is to bleed. You know, as women, we understand you go on period for 3 days. That is the most uncomfortable days of your life. Those 3 days a month, or those 5 days a month, it's miserable. It's misery. Because you don't know if that blood, if you washed properly, or if you haven't spoiled your clothes, or what. So I could imagine the stigma of the people in the society, how they were treating her. She was rich. She was a rich woman. She had all her things, all her life in order. But as soon as that issue of blood started disturbing her, she lost everything. She was moving from one doctor to another, one witch doctor to another, one sangoma, one private doctor, one gynae. She was seeking for help on all the places you could think of. But the Bible says, instead of her getting help, instead of the blood to stop, It got from bad to worse. This is this is our life, our daily life. Some of us, this has become our daily bread. Some of us as Christians, it's one problem after the other, and we don't know what to do. Some of us, we have moved out of the church to go seek for help in other areas. Some we seeking help from the church and from somewhere. And when it doesn't help, we don't blame that somewhere. We are quick to blame God. But why God is not helping us? What I like about this woman, she did not stop looking for help. She did not stop looking for help. I'm sure she was now living under the bridge, sold the house to say, okay, let me just sell the house. Maybe this is, if I get this will be my last money to help. Maybe I'll get money. Maybe let me go to United States. Let me go to China. I have there doctors there, specialists who can help me with this issue. But no, she did not get help. She did not help find the solution that she needed. As soon as she heard about Jesus, she saw Jesus coming, and she did not tell people that, no, I'm going to touch them. Because with the issue, I can imagine the smell that was coming out of her body, out of her clothes. She did not tell anyone because if I have to tell them, what if they stop me? She said in her heart, let me, if only I can touch the hem, the garment that he's wearing, my problems are solved. Blood is life. Blood is life. If you lose blood, you lose life. That's why you see, if people are involved in an accident, as soon as paramedics come there, as soon as they see that you are breathing, the first thing that they will do is to make sure that if there's bleeding, they try and stop the bleeding. Why? To save your life, they have to stop bleeding, because if you lose blood, you are losing life. You lose blood, you die. You lose more blood, they do blood transfusion to save your life. But this one, she was constantly losing blood. A woman represents a city, represents a nation, represents a country. Imagine what the country was going through. People were dying every day. Robbers were doing whatever they want. Hijackers were doing whatever they want. Killers were killing like nobody's business. Businesses were losing money like nobody's business. Churches were collapsing like there is no tomorrow. She touched Jesus' garment, and Jesus immediately said, who touched me? He stopped. If I was Jairus, I was going to say, but why are you stopping? Hello? My daughter is dying. Let's go to my house. There is a serious issue that needs to be addressed. Jairus kept quiet. Jesus stopped and asked, who touched me? There is a lot of people who are touching you, Jesus. Why are you asking me? Why are you asking who touched me? The touch of that woman was different from the other touch that was happening. A lot of people there, let's say it is today, a mighty man of God is coming through there. You see them, people, they are taking their phones, they are taking selfies. This exactly what was happening. People were touching him, not because they wanted healing. No, some were touching him to feel the garment that he was wearing, if it was original or it was a Hong Kong. People were touching him to take selfie, to say, see, I was there when he was passing, I touched him. People were touching him to keep records, to see that tomorrow if they say, no, I didn't see him, I'll go and break and say, come see, I was with him. I was touching his beard, I was touching his hair, I was touching his clothes. But this woman said, no matter what people around me are doing, I need the help of Jesus. I need the presence of Jesus in my life. Why would Jesus stop when the child is dying there and being concerned about someone who's charged him? Some of us, when God delays to answer us, we are quick to ask questions, but God, why are you not answering me so fast? I have prayed, I have fasted 7 days. Yes, you have prayed and you have fasted, but it doesn't mean that God did not hear you. You want Jesus to address the barrenness you are facing, but what you don't know is that there is an altar. There is an altar that was erected that is causing barrenness in your life. You want Jesus to address limitation in your life. Yes, it can be addressed today, but if the root cause, if the altar is not destroyed, that thing tomorrow will torment you again and your children. Jesus said to stop and deal with the root cause and say, okay, of course I'm going to deal with the child, with the spirit of death, but right now death that is happening there, it did not start there in the house of Jairus. It did not start there in the child, with the child. No, for 12 years people have been suffering in this community. For 12 years people have been suffering in this city. For 12 years this country have been suffering. If I go and just rise up the dead, it's not gonna be enough. I have to address that thing. I have to address that thing that is causing the spirit of death. That's why you see, when Jesus arrived in the house of Jairus, he did not pray. He did not need to pray in tongues. He did not need to scream. He did not need to sing worship songs. Why? Because he had already addressed the root cause. There, what he needed to do was just to deal with the fruits, of which it was not a big deal. It was nothing. That's why you hear him saying, Talita Kumi, arise, little girl. Arise. If I was Jairus, I was going to say, how can you say arise when this child is almost dying? And the people there were saying the child is dead. So how can you say arise to a dead person? Why are you not casting out the spirit of death first, then tell her to arise? This is the problem we are facing right now with most Christians. We want to teach God how to do his work. God says in his word, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Not when the time is right for you. Yes, it might be right for you, but not right for me as God. When the time is right for me, the Creator, I will make it happen. Why would I make it at my own time? If I make it at your time, it's gonna be scary. If I make you give birth at 2 months, it's not gonna be a full baby. That's why a pregnant person gives birth at 9 months, not at 1 month or at 2 weeks. No, it's 9 months, because the child is full term. So if God doesn't do it at his own time and does it at your time, it will be miscarriage after miscarriage. Where do you run to, child of God? Are you patient enough? Are you patient enough to allow God to do his work? Are you patient enough to allow God to do things at his own pace? Today, a child of God, I just pray and I just hope that as you are listening to this video, as you are listening to the teaching, this preaching, you're gonna be helped. You're gonna change your mindset, your perspective to how God thinks, how God does his things. I, the Lord, will make it happen when the time is right. May God give you the spirit of patience and perseverance to wait for him to do things at his own time. May God give you understanding to understand his will, not your will. God bless you all. May you please share the broadcast, share the message with your friends, with anyone, and don't forget to read the book of Mark chapter 5 verse 21, from verse 21 to 42, so that you will understand the whole message, what I was talking about and where I was coming from. God bless you.